Welcome to the 6th video in the Nature of Economics section. This video is titled Specialization. In this video, we are going to learn about Adam Smith's concept of specialization and division of labor. We will then consider the impact of specialization on production, as well as looking at the impact on trade. First, let's consider a world where there is no specialization. What if we asked you to make your own chicken sandwich from scratch? How long would it take and how much would it cost? Would you feel comfortable doing all of the steps necessary? What if we told you one person tried and it took them 6 months and it cost $1,500? You can see the evidence of this by copying the URL at the bottom, or by searching how to make $1,500 sandwich in only 6 months on YouTube. We imagine that most of you would not be keen on doing this every time you wanted to eat. So let's look at the mechanics of this using our economics toolkit. We know that there are 4 factors of production. To get the highest output possible from these factors, we have to use them efficiently. That means getting farmers to make dairy and meat products and getting video creators to make videos. They will be more efficient at the things they are used to doing regularly. This doesn't seem like rocket science when we talk about tasks as different as farming and making YouTube videos. However, there was a time when this idea was not so apparent for tasks that seemed much more related, or at least consecutive. Adam Smith, the author of The Wealth of Nations written in 1776, anticipated that greater production would arise from greater division of labor, or specialization, as it can also be called. In his case, he gave the example of a pin-making factory where he noted that it takes about 18 different tasks to make a pin. If all of these steps were performed by one worker only, it would take that worker a day to make one pin. However, if workers could specialize in 2 or 3 tasks each, then productivity would rise. In Smith's example, he cited a factory of 10 workers producing 48,000 pins a day, or 4,800 pins per worker each day. That means in a pin factory utilizing division of labor across groups of tasks, a worker produced 4,800 times more pins than where there was no specialization. Note that the idea isn't simply that adding more workers leads to more output. The idea is that if each worker specializes in some of the sub-activities, then their productivity, and that of the group, is increased. It is this idea that we refer to as specialization. Specialization is the simplification of production into a number of smaller, more specialized tasks to enable greater efficiency. We can consider the impact on production at a microeconomic level of a single firm. In such cases there are both pros and cons to specialization. First of all, workers can save time doing repetitive tasks because they get good at doing them efficiently. Secondly, the repetition means that they may get better at performing these tasks and the quality of these products increases. Thirdly, as workers become more efficient, they are able to produce more in the same amount of time. This allows them to scale up production in the same way that the pin factory was able to produce more. The firm that employs these workers will find that the cost of making each unit will therefore decrease. There are also negative consequences. Specialization means doing the same job over and over again. This repetition may lead to boredom and possibly errors, both of which can reduce the efficiency gains expected from specialization. If this boredom persists, then it is possible that the motivation to work may drop so significantly that the workers may not attend work regularly and may even quit working there. This results in a cost for management which then has to recruit replacement workers. At the macroeconomic level, specialization leads to interesting results. Remember that at the macroeconomic level, we are looking at the economy as a whole. This means that we will be interested in the impact on trade. Countries may be better at producing certain goods than other economies. This leads to 2 separate results. First, any country under consideration does not need to produce all goods it requires. it can choose to import goods it cannot make. One example might be in relation to natural resources, such as oil and gas, which not all countries have. The second result is that countries can focus their effort on producing goods that they are comparatively better at. Economies of scale will increase their productive efficiency. This allows the country to develop through trade with other economies if these goods it produces are particularly valuable. There may also be a negative impact when we consider the impact of specialization on trade. The greater the specialization, the greater is the opportunity cost, a concept we will look at in more detail later in this course. Essentially what this means is that as an economy dedicates more resources to producing more of one good, these additional resources contribute less to the output of other potential goods. This can have a significant impact if goods chosen for manufacture are based on short-term gains. If the country chooses to focus its production effort on a limited number of goods, or even just one good, it is exposed to concentration risk. This means that if demand for that good declines, then the country may not have any or many options to switch to quickly. For example, as energy production switches to renewable sources, economies that are reliant on exports of their non-renewable resources, such as oil and gas, may find that there are fewer buyers willing to buy their exports. Let's recap. Specialization is the simplification of production into a number of smaller, more specialized tasks to enable greater efficiency. This theory is normally attributed to Adam Smith, who presented the pin factory as an example of where division of labor can result in increases in production levels. The resulting production efficiency can be beneficial to firms as it costs them less to make goods provided employees remain motivated. Specialization may also lead to gains through trade.